It is day 48 of the 1 year fast. I'm about 45 hours into a 48-hour fast. So the protocol for the 1 year fast is for me to fast for 3 days per week. I choose the days for 52 consecutive weeks. This week, week 7, I fasted on Monday for 24 hours, and then I fasted yesterday and today for a combined 48 hours. And again, I'm about 45 hours into that 48-hour fast. Feeling really well, feeling really energized, feeling really good. It's really, really positive. Yesterday, I did feel really tired after about, around about 20 hours or so. And I went to bed early and woke up feeling really energized. And I feel really good, really good. And actually just counting the days. So again, 48 days into that 1 year fast. It had me thinking about life in terms of days. So I just calculated, if you live for 70 years, which I guess is still, I believe, average for most people. If you live for 70 years, that equates to 25,550 days. I don't know why, but when I look at lifespan in days, it seems really short. You've got just over 25,000 days, and that's your life. It kind of seems to bring things into sharp perspective around life and afterlife. Oh, wow. So I have to say I'm way past that midpoint in my 25,550 days. But still, I'm feeling positive and hoping too that maybe fasting and the 1 year fast is an extra positive point in terms of longevity. And maybe even, as all the medical experts talk about today, health span, hopefully. So anyway, been drinking all my water during the fast. Again, during the fast, I have electrolytes and I drink my hydrogenated water from this hydrogen water bottle. Probably drink, a good few of these every day whilst I'm fasting. Try to keep hydrated, not obviously go overboard in terms of just drinking too much, but I drink plenty of these. And again, I do take electrolytes whilst I'm fasting. But just adding into that, I was just exploring other conversations around fasting. And apparently there are yogis and mystics in the East that use copper cups, and they fill water into their copper cups, and I bought 2 of these tumblers, and they leave the water overnight, and they believe there's some health benefits, mystical benefits to drinking water left in a copper cup overnight. And then looking at drinking water from a copper cup from a scientific perspective, it seems that copper does have quite tangible antimicrobial benefits. It would appear there are benefits to using water from a copper cup. So what I intend to do prior to a fasting period is I've got 2 of these cups, fill them up the night before with water, have one in the morning, and then have one later in the morning or midday. So I'll give that a bash as well. Water from a copper cup. Copper apparently has a host of antimicrobial benefits, and we're hearing that the mystics in the East actually use copper cups, fill it up with water in the evening, leave it overnight, and then drink the water the following day. So let's give that a bash. And as we come into the end of this 48-hour fast, I thought it'd be a good time to try the new ketone reader again. So again, this is a new ketone reader I purchased. It arrived earlier this week. It's pretty easy to use. You have the main body, you then have these detachable mouthpieces. You just insert the mouthpiece into that slot there. You then press and hold the button on the front, get a countdown. It counts down from 20 all the way to 0. You then blow into the, you get a beep. You then blow into the ketone reader for about 10 seconds. You then have your reading. The other day I was really low, not in ketosis. So let's see if we can get ketosis today. Second beep, I've got a number 7. And I believe 7 indicates I'm in ketosis, but really low level ketosis. I believe I need to go over 11 to get into a serious state of ketosis, but at least it's shown a number, so semi-positive. As I said, I have ordered a blood-based ketone reader 2, which should arrive next week. And the intention would be to compare the breath-based ketone reader against a blood-based ketone reader, just to see if the results are comparable, or whether there's any kind of deviation from one to the other. I think it could be quite insightful. Again, I'm pretty disappointed in my ketone readings. At the start of the 1 year fast, I used my old ketone reader, very old, and probably showing some inaccurate readings. And that showed some ketone readings in the 40s. Since using the new ketone readers, I'm not seeing high numbers. I'm seeing, in fact, very, very low numbers. So I just want to ensure that I do get an accurate reading around ketosis. Okay, so that said, again, this is coming to the end of week 7 of the 1 year fast. For week 8, and again, my fast period goes from Sunday through to Saturday. So starting week 8 on Sunday, my intention is to fast next week on Monday for 24 hours, and then again on Wednesday and Thursday. Or maybe I'll switch it. Maybe I'll go Monday and Tuesday for 48 hours, and then on Thursday for 24 hours. So next week, definitely going to do one 24-hour, one 48-hour fast. And then probably the week after, I'll go back to another 3-day fast, another 72-hour fast. And then probably as we get into about week 12, 13, 14, that's when I'm going to be looking at doing back-to-back fasts. Again, my weeks go from Sunday through to Saturday. So in theory, well, actually in practice as well, I can fast for 6 days. I could fast for, in 1 week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Then in the subsequent week, fast for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, giving me the opportunity to fast for 6 days. And I'll probably do that again, maybe at week 12, 13, 14, even 15. So once I'm deeper into the 1 year fast. I have fasted for a week period, over week periods in the past. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And it's going to be really interesting just to see my ketosis levels once we get into those deeper fasts. And actually today it's quite interesting. So again, yesterday I was really exhausted. I woke up this morning really, really energized. I got on the scales and I went to the lowest weight that I've been since I've been on the 1 year fast, 173 pounds. And I started at 180 and I've kind of fluctuated up and down, of course, in alignment with fasting. But again, this morning, 173, which is the lowest I've been. And again, just to clarify, the 1 year fast is not about weight loss. It's all about just understanding how fasting impacts us holistically. And again, just because you lose weight, it doesn't really give a positive indicator. It's really about what type of weight you're losing. And that's where the DEXA scan really comes in. And I'm going to go back to have that subsequent DEXA scan probably in about October. So my first DEXA scan I had just prior to the 1 year fast showed some really, poor results. So I am, according to DEXA scan, borderline obese, so I had a really high fat content. So I'm hoping that once we get to October and I go back for that DEXA scan, we're going to see some improvement there. Fingers crossed. Okay, so that's end of day 48 of the 1 year fast. Can't believe it, soon be day 50. Wow. Yeah, so that's me for today. Yeah, thank you.